I have to ask you. You look like you're in a little bit of pain.
No, I'm okay. Like it's been like 4 to 5 days.
What's going on?
I got dental implants.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got like a weird condition where my teeth have more roots than like you probably have 3 in some and 2 in others and 1 in others, where I have like 6. So it's weird. And then what happens is because of that, you get like a root canal, and they can't see the little offshoots, so they don't actually fill the whole tooth. So then it gets infected and it has to come out. So when the teeth come out and you're stuck with, no teeth from here back, you get the dental implants. So I have 2 screws in my jaw right now.
Oh.
So, but there's a lot of stitches, so it's just like it's a little annoying.
Well, especially if you're on tour and you have to sing.
It's not that bad. Like it's not as bad as you think it would be.
Does it hurt to eat or just
no
painkillers? Just
no painkillers. Just I haven't even taken any Advil or anything. And I'm not like super tough either. It's just like it's just annoying. You know what I mean? Like,
well, then you had a good dental surgeon, because I've had many root canals and there has never been one that's been like this.
Oh no, this is an implant.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
I've had the extractions and everything to go along with it.
It's the girl that I go to is like she's one of the 10 best in the States. So she's super good at it, but I don't know. I mean, it's just the fact that there's stitches there. That's what's kind of irritating. It's not painful. It's just irritating.
Are they self-dissolving and you have to get them out?
Yeah. So, but they're like a little bit longer than normal. So I guess it's gonna take like 10 days, 2 weeks to come out, and I'm on day 5. So I'm getting to the point of madness where I'm like, oh my goodness, just come out, So it's alright.
Well, let's talk about some music. The new album. I guess we can still call it new. It's only been out for a couple of months.
Yeah.
No, actually a month and a bit. And there's obviously been a change in sound here.
Yeah.
You want to describe it, but from your point of view, about what's different between 59 Sound and American Slang?
Well, I think we on 59 Sound we played a lot of traditional like country kind of chords, like big open C-G chords. They were just essentially they were folk songs that you could play with a band. Mm-hmm. And on this record, we really tried not to do that. We tried to just kind of come up with things that were a little bit more interesting to us. And I was listening to a lot of Rolling Stones at the time, and I was really fascinated with Keith Richards' guitar playing, and not necessarily what he was playing, because I don't think you would hear a song like Honky Tonk Woman come out of my band, but it was very interesting to see that he wasn't just playing these traditional kind of Bob Dylan-y chords. He was playing like parts, like little parts, and I was just like, that's so fascinating. I wonder what would happen. And I mistakenly said that to Ted Hutt, our producer, one day, and then he ran with it, and he's like, no chords. You can't play chords in any songs. And I was like, oh my goodness, for real? And he's like, yeah, I want you to write parts. And I was like, cool. So he just made me like 100 times better guitar player than I was when I started.
Do you have the XL on Main Street reissue?
I do.
Yeah.
I have the reissue, the big deluxe edition, and I have I just got, my wife is the best, got me Stones in Exile, the DVD.
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched it yet. I just got it yesterday.
There's different kind of subject matter, or different, I don't know if that's the way I want to put it, but the first 2-3 records, you would never have had a song like Diamond Street Church Choir on. Because 2 albums ago, with your first record or your demos, you would have never done anything like that. Why are you doing it now?
Because it was something that I always wanted to do. I always kind of thought when I was young, I would listen to the live Van Morrison records, and I was always like, man, that's just the coolest music in the world. It's got like an easier swing to it, and I was really tired of the fast beats, like the fast drum beats, and really just there's no dynamics. You're almost choking a song. In a way, in a good way sometimes, but when you play that fast, like we did on Sink or Swim and 59 Sound, the song doesn't breathe. You have to it's like you get out of the gate and you get to the point and then you're out. But with guys like Tom Petty and Van Morrison and things like that, like the music, and even the Stones, ultimately the Stones, they have breath in their songs. There's space for you to comprehend what's going on, and it moves you in a way. It like makes you want to innately, that inner thing that everyone has, it makes you want to dance. And like, as soon as you hear like finger snaps, you're like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do to this song. Whether I'm going to or whether I'm not, I know what I'm supposed to do.
You listen to a song like Honky Tonk Woman.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I mean, and it's a lot of it is the space between the chords.
Yep.
Because Keith will play something and then nothing happens
Yeah.
for what seems like forever, and then he plays another part, like you were saying. Yeah.
It's like floating.
Yeah.
You know? And I love that thing. I love it so much. And I never knew that we could do it until, I guess I started looking at the bands that I thought were my favorite bands, which like Pearl Jam's my favorite band, and I like they would just change. Like they didn't care. It was like, yeah, we made Even Flow 10 record, yeah, and then No Code, yeah, same record, same band. We don't care. Oh, it didn't sell any records. I don't know. We're happy.
That's what we're doing right now.
Cool. I love that vibe. Like I love that thing. Just that total like, yeah, well, I make music for me, not you. And that's cool.
And it's worked out really well because 5 years ago, I mean, the band came together. You guys are a bunch of refugees from a bunch of other bands that didn't do anything. And now, I mean, you're jamming with Springsteen at Glastonbury. You're on the Tonight Show.
It's crazy.
I mean, it is crazy.
I mean, in a way, it's kind of weird because we're just like, what does this all mean? Like, is this gonna be? I don't know how I got here. Like, at what point does do anyone that's like our band, that's in a successful band, like a famous band, do they go to the store and go, I'm gonna buy this record, I'm gonna put it on, and then they hear like 59 cents, and they're like, that's pretty good. When it's like, I wrote that in my bedroom. Like, are you kidding me? How do you like that? Like, I don't get it because they're so famous and so steeped in the fabric.
Well, they've been
of
those
America.
people all their lives.
I know, and I've just been this kid, and that's what I don't understand is that, because I will never, even if I get to that level, I will never see myself at that level.
It was interesting because I met Paul McCartney once, and he was 62, 63 at the time, and talking to him was a different sort of thing because he's been a Beatle his entire life. I mean, everything has been all about him being in the most famous, the most influential rock band of all time. And it's just the way he moved and he walked and he interacted with other people. It's just, I just can't imagine what that must be like.
It's a weird feeling, it's definitely odd, to talk to, what, I don't know, I never understand why soundcheck has to be so loud. I never, obviously the speakers aren't broken, okay, turn it down. I'm gonna have to go inform somebody of my opinions on such things later. I don't know, because I think guys like, Paul McCartney, is he knighted? Is he, sir?
Yes.
He is, yeah. Your world must not be the same world that we live in, that you and I live in. And I think that that's okay to a point. I think that, some guys, they just, I imagine Ronnie Wood is a good example of, kind of walking that parallel. He's not as famous as Keith and Mick, or Charlie maybe.
Yeah.
And they kind of just, they're there, but they're not, they're kind of outside too, so they get.
And yeah, because he was an add-on in the 70s. He
Yeah.
came after Mick. He came after Brian. So what's his status within the band? What is his share of royalties?
Yeah, who
is he an
knows, man?
employee?
Might be.
And it all goes to Keith and Richard and Keith and Mick and Prince Rupert. I don't know. Bono's another guy. I mean, you talk to him.
Interesting.
Very interesting character. Right now, he's recovering from back surgery, and he's on Larry Ellison's yacht in the Mediterranean with Roman Abramovich, who is the Russian billionaire who owns Chelsea of the Premier League, and they're on Larry's yacht, which is the biggest private boat on the planet. I'm just like, wow, what a...
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, back to you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this record uses the word I a lot more than the last one.
Probably. I didn't notice that, but I think that, it does. I'll take your word for it. I mean, I imagine it would, because these are more directly.
Personal stories.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to, I felt like the earlier records, it was me and whoever was listening in the audience, that we were talking about people we knew, that we were kind of conversing, and that was the understood thing about the songs, in my mind. And this one, it's kind of like, remember all those people we were talking about? Well, that was really us. And now we're talking about us, and we're calling a spade a spade.